Good morning, everyone. Eric Wilson with iCell Health Incorporated, continuing our training on insurance. Today's topic is an interesting one. It is medical bankruptcy. 62% of bankruptcies, a little more than 62%, are derived from medical expenses. Now, people get confused on this. It plays a part in the bankruptcy. A lot of people say, well, you file claims, insurance companies don't pay their bills, or you have a high deductible. That's the insurance companies do pay their bills. They pay the policy as it is. People have higher deductibles now than they used to, 2,500, 5,000, and maybe another 2,000 out of pocket maximum on top of that. But even if you have let's say a $5,000 deductible and a $5,000 on top of that maximum, $10,000. That's not convenient by any means to pay for a medical expense. But when a critical illness costs hundreds of thousands of dollars, maybe even a million, $10,000 is not horrible. And if you look at just paying it off at $300-400 a month, $200 a month, you haven't paid off in a few years. Not convenient by any means, but that's usually only part of the reason people file medical bankruptcy. A lot of times people already have some kind of debt involved. They have maybe some credit card debt or some car payments or mortgages. That all contributes. Okay? This here was a Chicago Sun-Times article, and this is back in 2001. Talks about a Harvard study that talks about medical bankruptcy and some people that have filed bankruptcy medical bills. Right? A big portion of the medical expenses, are your indirect expenses, not your medical expenses, but the indirect expenses. If you were to have God forbid, a heart attack, odds are you're not going to work for a while. Right? If you're not going to work for a while, you're not bringing in income. Number one, that's probably the number one cause is your loss of income. If you're still getting paid, you can still make most of your other commitments in many cases. But if you don't go to work for 3 weeks, that's a damper on things. Also, if you have to go see, let's say you're going through cancer treatments and chemo, heaven forbid, you also have to fill your car up with gas to get there. Sometimes someone has to take you. So if your spouse is still working, maybe your spouse has to take off from work so she can take you for the treatment. So that's not convenient. Gas, some over-the-counter remedies. You have some, it would just be aspirin, Tylenol, hot water bottles for pain. That's big. Sometimes you have to hire help. If you can't cut your lawn, you have to hire somebody to pay you to cut your grass. You have to hire somebody, maybe to clean your home. So all of these are intangibles. Now, also, if you have employer-sponsored health care, maybe you don't go back to work. That's why people losing their health care. You don't lose your health care on the individual market because you get sick. That's a fallacy. People have always said that you get canceled when you get sick. That is false. That's never been factual. However, if you have group health, employer-sponsored health, and you stop working for that company, well, then you do lose your health care. That part is factual when you need it most. So that's where things get distorted. So how do we handle this situation? Okay, there are policies that are called defined illness policies or critical illness policies that pay you a lump sum cash. There are also some that are just cancer only, or maybe a critical illness. Critical illness might cover all in one. Heart attack, stroke, and cancer all combined. Cancer would just be a cancer product, but you can get that as a defined amount where you can get where it pays you $10,000 or $5,000 or $50,000. It's a lump sum amount paid directly to you to offset some of your expenses. If you had $10,000 in medical bills, plus let's say another $10,000 in indirect bills, let's say between lawn and gas and taking time off of work and all those things, $20,000. If you got a $20,000 critical illness policy paid directly to you, well, that's great. That covers pretty much all of your expenses, and they're fairly inexpensive. Sometimes only $10 a month or so, or sometimes $50 a month, or depending on how much you take in there. You can also use that money. What if they found a treatment that cured cancer, and it was in Europe, not approved in the United States? Well, if it was going to save your life, you want to jump on a plane, use that money, and go to Europe. Have at it. I mean, they're a nice product. Also, critical illness policies were not invented by the insurance company. A heart doctor, cardiologist, the one who actually created the policy. Very interesting, and most carriers have them. Now you can get them through Humana offers them, and Guaranteed Trust Life offers these policies, and there's a great number of policies that offer critical illness or cancer policies. So something to look into. Oftentimes they're $5 a month, $10 a month. Like I said, very inexpensive. One thing I'll also encourage you is sometimes is those you can add as part of your current policy. I might recommend you go outside your current policy to an individual policy. If you like for Humana, for example, if you have their critical illness policy, it's a fantastic plan, by the way. But if you change your health insurance, well, you have to change your critical illness policy as well. Sometimes you can't qualify for it down the road. So just something to think about there. Something always to look into. Eric Wilson, iSell Health Incorporated, www.isellhealth.com. Hope you have a great day.